All right, how my brand experts doing? We are in another brand experts podcast right now, right? And so, thank you guys for sticking with us. Through these brand experts podcasts, it's very important for you to be an expert in everything you do. And at Brand Experts Podcast, we have brands that market their expertise through podcasting. Right? It's incredible. That's the way we do it over here. So today in this episode, we are focusing on the client growth business model. Listen, it's important to grow your clients, whether clients you have, whether growing, you know, their average spend with you, or, also growing the number of clients that you have, right? That's how you build a strong business. And that's something that we see is very important here at Brands Experts Podcast. And also like to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by the Champions Playbook Business Consulting Firm, specializing in video creation, video marketing, and also brand partnership development, right? So if you need that kind of stuff, every brand needs video nowadays. We're in 2023 right now. And if you're not doing videos, you're lost. Okay. So it's no need to be lost though. It's time to be found. It's time to get things done. It's time to stay locked in. So with saying all that, make sure you get your video done and, you do the right things as far as getting your videos done. Okay. All right. Make sure you get your videos done. Okay. Very important to do that. Don't slack off on your videos. You want to make sure you're getting your videos done as much as possible, right? Doing good videos. And yeah, wow. Go fix that. Yeah. So make sure you get your videos done and all that stuff is very important to be getting your videos done. Okay. So if you need that done, go there. We'll get you situated. But we are working on this podcast right now. So let's focus on that. So back to the client growth business model. So what's the goal of this business model? Okay. We believe the goal of this business model is to multiply your investment. Let's make an example, right? So let's say this year with your brand, you're going to invest $5,000 into your marketing, right? Your total marketing to, get sales and get all things that you need, right? So the goal is in this year to 15x that $5,000 investment. So if you 15x'd it, right, you will be at $75,000. Okay. So that's a great goal to get to. Okay. If you did that, right? So if you take off the 5 that you invested in, you'll be at 70,000 plus, right? That's great for a business, right? For your business, say it's your side business, right? To make $70,000, profit will be great, right? But we need to know how we're going to get there, right? It's very important to know how you're going to get to where you're going to go. You're not just going to wake up there, right? You need to know how you're going to get there. It's very important. Okay. So there's a total of 8 steps that we have, right? We're going to go through. It's important. I didn't want it to be 8, but it's 8 because you need to know how to do everything you need to do to get there. Okay. I'm not going to explain half and then you're wondering, you're stuck. We really focused on getting a great number. And yeah, that's what we're doing. We have some guests coming up. We have some great things coming up. So it's so important that we have the business model done. And yes. And listen, if you want to jump in front of the line, right, and get what you need, get a downloadable PDF version of this business model, get the coaching videos for this business model, right, to get the upgrades for this, just go to brandexpertspodcast.com/club, sign up for the club, and there you go. Everything will be there for you. You don't have anything to worry about, okay? Everything will be right there. So just let you know where to go. If you want to jump in front of the line, want to be a part of a great community with brand experts, business experts, coaching, marketing, all the great stuff over there. Over deliver, make sure you get your sales, your business model straight. Make sure you're, doing all the things that you need to do. Make sure you go there. Okay. So there's going to be rules for this business model. Okay. Measure every step. It's one thing to say we're doing great here, we're doing good here, but no one really knows what great and good is. right? So we have to measure that, okay? So each one is going to be measured, right? And so we'll go over that. Like, for example, right, with step one, the measurement is have a place to send your target audience that's not just you, right? So that's how we're measuring step one, have a brand. That's what step one is. That's how we measure it. So just so you know, every step is going to be measured, okay? Next one we'll get to is know your numbers, okay? Got to know your numbers, right? Got to know your numbers, okay? If you have one brand, that's your number. It's one. You're sending them there. Ours is two. We're sending them two places: the Champions Playbook Business Consulting Firm and the Brand Experts Podcast, right? We're sending our target audience to both of those places, right? If they're a brand, they want to market the expertise, they want to join a community, they're going to go to Brands Experts Podcast. Nice and easy. If they're a brand and they want to film content, or they have videos and they want to put them in short form, put them in long form, they want to, do interview style stuff, they want to show off exactly what they do, we'll send them to the Champions Playbook. Okay. So there's those are our numbers. And you need to know your numbers. Okay. It's not no coincidence. Okay. So know that and understand that. Okay. Next thing we'll get to is always go step by step. Now, there is times when somebody's just ready to pay, then send them to where they're going to pay. Like, it's nice and easy because they don't want to wait. But most people want to build trust, want to know who you are, want to see what you've been doing and things like that. So just take them through the process. Okay. It's nothing wrong with that, right? Just send them through the process, right? Just so they can know you understand what you're doing, develop the trust, develop a relationship. And then from there, it makes everything easier. So, just go step by step. Okay. And next thing is know where your target audience is in the process. Okay. So you need to know where they are, right? It's very important to know where they are in the process, right? To know if they're lost or if they need some guidance in the process. Like, if they're confused on buying, then they might not be the right client for you, and that's okay. Or you didn't, send them through your process correctly. So look at where they are, right? And if they're not ready to buy, right, they're in a spot in your process that, they're still growing, learning, get familiar with you, or trying other people out, that's okay. But if you don't know where they are and they're not buying, that's a huge problem. So you need to know where your target audience is in the process. Okay. Very important to know where they are, right? Very important. So we got our rules down. Let's get to step one. Okay. Let's get to this so you guys, know what's going on. It's very important. So let's get to it. Let's get this business model, right? Let's understand what the client growth business model is. Okay. So step one, have a brand. We want anybody that's here that's doing any type of business or, doing anything like that to have a brand, period. Have a brand. That's not just you, because you got to think about it. If you get sick, something happens, right? Where are you sending people? So you're sick. They're not going to be buying. Why? Because you're sick. You need to recover. You need to get better. So if you send them to your brand, that's a better position to be in, because if they go to your brand, now they can purchase. Now they can fully get involved in everything you're doing. So we want to send them to your brand. Okay. I can't say that enough. You want to have a brand, right? And so now we'll measure that. Do you have a brand? Something that's not you that can operate without you if needed. That's a brand. Okay. So if you have that, so now we know our numbers. We have two over here, but if you have one, you have your brand. That's great. You have it. Now we can move forward to the next step. Okay. Sure. We're looking good. We're looking good. Okay. All right. So our number is 2 for that one. Okay. So we know our numbers. We have a brand. The brand is the Champions Playbook Business Consulting Firm and Brands Experts Podcast. Okay. Great. We have these 2. Let's get into step 2. Create your product or service. Ours is already created, right? We have the business consulting firm specializing in video creation, video marketing, brand partnership development. So if you go to the Champions Playbook on YouTube or the Champions Playbook TCP.com, you'll see what's going on over there, see our offers, see everything, how we do it over there. And Brand Experts Podcast, you go to brandexpertspodcast.com or Brand Experts Podcast on YouTube or Brand Experts Podcast on Instagram. You'll see everything that's going on over there. And, you can search us on all podcast platforms. You can search us that way. So it's a lot of ways to see what's going on, but everything's already been created, right? And so how we're going to measure this is, let's see, you measure it by knowing what you have, right? So the way you're going to do this is if you have somewhere to send people, right? If you don't have nowhere to send people, right, then how do you have a product or service? You don't, because you don't have anywhere to send people. You don't have anything for anybody. You just have something that you're talking about. So you have to go create it. You have to find if you need resources, if you need loans, if you need those kind of things. You go create your business plan with your SWOT analysis and all that stuff. Get that created. You can go to Fiverr.com, right? Create a quick account with your email. You don't have to add anything like payment or anything like that. And then you search business plan. You can start talking to experts that create business plans, right? So it's very easy to get that done. Gave you a resource. I provided a resource for you to get that done. So it's, not that complicated. Create that business plan. Go to banks, provide, show them what you have, what you're trying to do. If you need funding and things like that, go to Chase Bank, go to US Bank, go to your local bank. And if they can't provide you what you need, I'm pretty sure they'll point you in the right direction. Okay. So that's step 2. Step 3, determine if your product is B2C. B2C is business to customer. B2B, which is business to business. Or the third, last one, B2G, business to government. Set your prices accordingly. So usually, right, and this makes it, you can really have your prices whatever way you want them. But we notice what usually works is usually the cheapest piece of what you're doing is business to customer, because usually customers are doing things for themselves. So they're not looking to spend that much, right? So let's take an amusement park, for example, right? Let's look at Disneyland, okay? If it's business to customer, right? Group of family of 3, right? Mom and dad and a child, they might be looking to spend, under $1,000, right? Now, if there's a business package that Disneyland is offering, right? Now think about it. Let's say that business brings 40 of their employees, 8 of their managers, and then, 3 executives, right? So what is that? 40, 50, 60. So maybe 75, right? So that package of 75, right? They may spend, $20,000, right, for the company to go to Disneyland, right? Because they're going to get food, the parking, So if you had a package where they can, for 15,000, get these people in, get everything done. But since they have that package, right, since what they're offering is a business to business product, right, now they're making 15,000 in one day because they have a business to business package, right, and offer. So you got to be thinking about that. That's very important. Now, if you have a business to government, now you're at you're at the top. We have a business to government offer. That's incredible, because if you have a business to government offer, let's say, the government needs, they're going to be sending people to Disneyland as well. Well, they might be sending, for whatever the program is, they may be sending, you know, 50,000 people throughout the year. All right. Think about how many government employees there are. Okay. And when they're sending people through, imagine what that is. Imagine what the return on that investment is. Right. So let's say the average, they put a package together where the average, let's go to the calculator and break this down. The average, there is going to be, let's say, 180 times 50,000. So that's 9 million, right? Because they have a government package, right? 9 million, right? Because they have a business to government, package. Now it's going to be harder to get that business to government offer, converted over into a sale. But if you have that, right, and if you know that that's what you need, think about what that's going to do. Okay. You can have all of them, but we like to stay focused, right? We don't want to just be all over the place, right? Know who you're selling to. With us at the Champions Playbook and Brands Experts Podcast, this is a B2B product, right? Business to business. That's what we focus on over here. Business to business. Okay. That's why it's called brands. That's why it's called that, right? The Champions Playbook. That's why it's brand video creation, brand video marketing, and business and brand partnership development, because it works better for us because we can over deliver to them. They're looking, for something that's over delivery. If our packages start at, let's say $1,000, makes sense for them. For a customer situation, may not make sense. We know who we're talking to. That's very important. Know who you're talking to. Know your client. Know what they need. Okay. Let's get to step 4. Find your lead generation system. Ours is our local chamber of commerce. Okay. So what is lead generation? Leads are interested and qualified audiences that are looking for what you're offering. Okay. So with ours, right, Brands Experts podcast, we have a podcast, right, where we charge a fee to get on the podcast. So, we have to find businesses, right? It's not every door that you're going to run into is a business owner. And then the business owner that you run into might not be looking to market their business. So where are we going to find leads? The Chamber of Commerce is where we locate a lot of our leads, right? Our local chamber. And we've, seen what other chambers are doing, right? In Southern California area, the Bakersfield Chamber, the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber. So these are great resources with business that are looking to market, that are looking to collaborate and do projects together with other businesses. And that's exactly what we're looking for. So it just makes sense for us to find our leads there. But for what your business is, you need to make sure that you're locating leads. Okay. It's very important that you do that. That has to be part of your business model, or else there's going to be a clog in your business model, and you're going to be wondering, why isn't this working? Like, why am I not getting leads? Like, why is no one interested? Well, that's happening because you don't have a good lead generation system. We have every month we have at least from 25 to 50 new leads, right? And, we're not going to convert all of those. But out of those, let's say we do a 10% conversion. That's great that we're converting at 10% to we're working with them, we're creating content, we're, adding them to our family of experts that have got on the podcast, that have content with us, that have worked with us. And that's what we want. Okay. So that's what I want for you, to find your lead generation system, right? Utilize your local chamber of commerce. If you have a brand, it's very important. There's always brands that are working together, things like that. If the brand local to you, it's not a good fit, and then you reach out to the bigger city, reach out somewhere you may have to drive 40, 50, 100 miles maybe. But how important is it to you? If it's that important, then drive, make it happen, do the things you need to do to make it work, okay? We're not focused on excuses, okay? Now, we're going to focus on measuring this. Okay. And how we're going to measure this is how many leads is your brand getting every month. Okay. So, and we didn't measure the last one, so we'll go back and do that real quick. But you want to know how many leads your brand is getting every month. Okay. And that's how you're measuring your lead generation system. So let's say your goal is 100 leads. If you're only getting 2, you need to find a better lead generation system. You're not getting enough to even make it make sense. What you're doing doesn't make sense. Okay. So it has to make sense. It can't be a number that your goal is, 1,000 and you're only doing 7. It's not good. You need to be over or at least half of where your goal is, so you can start getting some numbers to start looking at, okay, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Okay. That's why we're measuring everything. And the last one, what was that? Step 3, how we measure, let's see, our B2C, B2B, or B2G product is who your target audience is, right? That's how, so like with us, right? We have, we work with businesses. We're focused on businesses. So we have a business to business product, and it can convert to business to government, but it's not set up that way. Hopefully in the future we can set our stuff up that way, but right now it's not set up that way. But that's the goal, is if we can get to business to government, work with governments around the world, help them, with their economy and their sales and their branding, that's that. Because we believe, when it comes to that, let's just say governments, like we believe United States of America has the best branding. Like you can, freedom, entrepreneurship, home ownership, that branding makes America what it is. And so that's what we focus on over here is a B2B product, right? And that's how we measure it, who our target audience is, right? If it's business owners, then that's what it is, okay? So know who your target audience is. Nothing wrong if it's B2C. It's cheaper and you'll probably get a lot more conversions because it's cheaper. But just understand if you're doing a $10 product and it goes 100,000, well, you're probably going to have to sell, I believe, 10,000 of those. Let's see. 10,000 times, what was it? 10. There we go. So $10, you're going to have to sell 10,000 of them. Okay. So just understand what your numbers are and how to make it make sense for you. Okay. All right. Now let's get to, what was it? Step 5. All right. Now remember what step 4 is. Find your lead generation system. Ours is a local chamber of commerce. And the way we measured it was how many leads our brand gets every month. You do the same thing with yours. Okay. Now we're at step 5. Test your product or service in the marketplace. Okay. So you have your product or service you think is great, but nobody else does. Right? If that's the problem, you might have to bring it back in, make some adjustments, and show it to your target audience. Again, that's what we had to do with the Champions Playbook. Okay, we had to sharpen that up. Now we know exactly what we're doing. So when we started Brands Experts Podcast, we know what brands wanted. It's not that complicated for us to find guests and things like that because we knew exactly what they wanted. Okay, but it took years of testing. Right, this wasn't something overnight. Years of testing. We got what we're looking for. We're off and rolling. Okay, so let's get back to it. Okay, and this is how you're going to test your product. Create a budget and pay your leads to try your product or service. So, okay. Also, create content during this process and collect emails from your leads. Okay, so let's just say there's a okay. So let's go to the Disneyland example that we were using before. Okay. That's a good one. So what they're going to do, Disneyland, is their target audience is the government, right? They want to get the government into their park. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, we want to have 100, government officials come to our park in the first 4 months of the year. And if they all come, then we're going to pay for, them to come, try the park out, try the rides out. So what that's going to do, if they like it and they enjoyed it, they'll come, and they'll say, hey, we enjoyed it. This is something that we want to do for the rest of our people here. And then from there, they'll go to the Disneyland sales reps and they'll say, hey, we like this. So what package can you put together for, 2,000 employees? They go look at it. They'll say, hey, for 500,000, we can do this, we can do that. They say, great. Send the package to us and let's make it happen. Great. So now they have that package for 2,000 employees just because they paid for it. So that's what I want you to do. Every lead that you get, right, I want you to have an offer that you pay for them to try it, right? It's good. They try it. They enjoy it. Now they want to come purchase. They're looking to purchase it now because they like it. You paid for it. That makes sure that there was over delivery going on. Everything works out good. Okay. So you have to be looking to how, like it goes back to what I said at the beginning. The whole point is 15x to put in 5,000 and to end with 75,000, right? You put 5,000 into the machine. You waited 11 months. You came December 1st. The machine provided 75,000. You would do that every time. Okay. So that's what we want you to be focusing on with this business model. Okay. You're going to pay up front. They're going to like what you're doing. And because you've already tested it, things like that. So after you tested it, they like it. Now they're going to become a part of what you're doing. Okay. Don't look at the money like, why are you paying people? You need to do that. You need to develop trust in what you're doing. You're paying for it. You're, making sure they get a good experience with what you're doing. In the long run, it's all going to be worth it. Okay. All right. And we're getting to the last step in this one in the Brands Experts podcast. Now, listen, before we get into it, let me let you know. If you want the bonus from this episode, go to brandsexpertspodcast.com and you will see a bonus from this episode. Okay. You want this bonus. You like having a business model now. Now you understand it. You like turning 5,000 into 75. You want to do that with your brand. That makes sense. That makes sense for your family. That makes sense for you. Makes a lot of sense. Let's do it. What are we waiting for? What's the point in waiting? Let's stop waiting and get it done right now. Yes, that's because what you're doing, if you don't, you're holding yourself back. You're saying, oh, let me try to make it work with this. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But if you get the step 7, client nurturing, and step 8, brand community update, and if you know the ins and outs of those, well, now you have yourself a higher percentage, higher odds to hit your sales goals, to hit your profit goals, and do all the things you want to do. Go on all the trips, buy all the houses that you want, do all the things, take your mom out, take your kids out, do all these things and still have the ownership and still hit your goals that you want. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's stop waiting. Let's stop being afraid and let's get that done. Okay. All right. Let's do it. So now let's get into step 6. Sell. That's step 6 is sell. Okay. Hold on. Wait a second. We have to measure step 5. Add up how many leads you added to your email list every month. So it's very important because as you collected these emails, right, as they, whenever you purchased it and everything happened as in the test spot, right? What ended up happening was you got an email every time. And as you got an email, that's how you're collecting, like, okay, when you got this data, they liked it, they're a client now you have their email. Now you have a way to, communicate, build a relationship. And that's what we're going to go through in step 7. But you have to have it to be able to do it. Right? Very important. You're not going to be able to do the things you want to do if you don't have it. I could tell you how to do stuff with a basketball, but I can't show you with the air. I got to have it. So you got to have it to be able to do it. Okay? Very important. Let's get into, hold on, where we at. Step 6, sell. Use the content you created to sell your product or service. Once the test period is over, to new clients and leads. Okay. So in step 5, remember, we collected content, right? When we purchase whatever they have, we're going to say, hey, we want to film you trying this product out. Let's say it's a shirt. Hey, when you put the shirt on, want to film you talking about it. They say yes, you film them. Hey, the shirt feels great. I want to wear it to the park. I want to wear it here. I want to wear it there. I want to wear it to graduation. I want to do all this stuff. You're filming this. They like it. You're going to use this content to create your ads, to create your social media content, to create your YouTube content. You're going to use this to create this. And once everybody that's in your target audience sees, wow, this person enjoyed it. That person enjoyed it. This person enjoyed it. That person enjoyed it. It puts you in a great position because everybody's enjoying your product or service. And from there, they want to be more deep involved in what you're doing. Okay. So you have something that they like, you keep them involved in the process and then you move them forward. Okay. So that's very important, right? When you're selling. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Because what ends up happening is this content, what it will do, this content is a great way to sell your products because when people see it, it's believing. I can come on here and say a lot of great stuff about my businesses, most people would. But if I cut, part of this video and said, let me show you these 10 business owners, what they said about being a podcast. Being on this podcast was great. We loved it. We enjoyed it. You see me in different cities, you see me working with different business owners, you're going to believe that a lot more than you believe me. And that's why we want you to create that content that's going to help you sell, right? How do we measure this, right? Let's get to the measurement part. add up your total sales every 30 days. You have to measure, okay, how many sales are you getting? Once you measure your sales, now you can make sense of, what you were doing. Okay, you measured your sales, it made sense. Now you move forward. Okay, so that is the brand experts podcast level of the client growth business model. Okay, you got that. You got the business model. Now it's time to execute on it. But we want you to join the Brands Experts Podcast Club. Just go to brandexpertspodcast.com/club. Make sure you join so you get the rest of this, so you get the PDF for it, you get the training, and you get the bonus pieces, right? You get everything that you need. Do not halfway do your business model. Do you want to halfway do your sales? Do you want to halfway do anything? You don't. So let's go over there and get everything done. Let's stay focused. Let's stay dedicated. Let's continue to stay experts in everything that we do. And yes, let's just continue to win. Right now, we're going to focus on the bonus piece of episode 6 of Brand Experts Podcast. This is episode 6. Okay, so focus on the bonus. We're going to get that done. Make sure you go to brandexpertspodcast.com so you can get the bonus. Right, we want to do a bonus in every episode. That's the goal. So make sure you go over there so you can get that. If you need help with your marketing, with your brand, you want to know more about marketing for brands, we have a free community. Okay, all you need to provide is your email, a few other things. Bam, you're in. Okay, just go to brandexpertspodcast.com/marketing. Join the Quick Brands Marketing Group. That's the group that we have. Like I was telling you, it's free. Just be positive when you're in there. Because if you're negative, we can't have that. And if you don't like it, why would you want to join? Just, you can unsubscribe. And then, that's the end of it. No big deal. But we want to provide a great resource for you to make sure you have a community of experts, of people that are building their marketing and things like that. That's what we want for you, provided that for you. That's where you need to go. If you want to see videos of the things that we're doing, just go to Brand Experts Podcast on YouTube. You can see all that. Go to brandexpertspodcast.com if you want to see the calendar, things we have coming up, events that we have coming up. Whatever's open on the website, you'll be able to see it there. And yes, so we'll get the bonus going right now. I'd like to thank you for checking this out. Some great things are coming up in the next episode. We're excited to bring that to you. You're going to see a lot more guests, a lot more episodes, a lot more content with the marketing group Quick Brands Marketing Group. You're going to see great stuff over there. And the Brands Experts Podcast Club, you can see great stuff over there. Thank you for checking it out. Get to this bonus right now. Let's go.